So what's like your day look like? What time do you start at? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously you don't have to commute. So if you start at 9, you could get up at 8:55. But like, what does the beginning of your day actually look like?
Yeah, so I usually get up around 8, try to relax. But yeah, I try to log in by like, 9, 9:15. And then what I usually do in the mornings is a lot of prospecting. Um, looking at my accounts, seeing what are the best um, people to go after. And they have like this really cool power dialer here.
Hmm.
So I'm pretty much like I'll log in my day and I'll start making dials. Like I'll log into the power dialer and I'll also be prospecting. And whenever I get like a pickup, then I go on the cold
Hmm.
call
And do
script.
you
And
start prospecting like right away, or do you like spend 30 minutes like, all right, let me check my emails or voicemails or anything from the day before?
yeah, I mean, I'm usually like on top of that. I don't really have like I guess like the
Too
best
much
work.
piling up.
Yeah, like, I don't have like the best work life balance. Like if I get an email at
Okay.
7 o'clock, I'm gonna check
You'll
it.
respond. Yeah.
Like usually I like to go to sleep with nothing on my plate and then wake up and kind of start the day new. But
Got it. Okay.
that's like what works for me. I
Okay.
find.
So
But
when you start prospecting, do you have like different lists, different IC, different markets you're going out? Like, do you have kind of like a priority? Like, all right, these are the people that I call first, and then go to this list and go to this list, or
yeah, so we have like I speak with my reps and they give me, like their top 100 accounts, top 500 accounts they want to go after. So usually like the top 100 accounts, we update that like every quarter or whatnot. And yeah, I'll like do targeting accounts. Those are the targeted accounts. And then, we have different industries as well. So like right now I'm focusing this quarter on the healthcare industry. So I, pretty much just look at like just Google, healthcare industries in my territory and
okay.
kind of go from there.
Okay. And you're provided like if you're going after healthcare, are you provided the leads like, hey, here's the companies we're going after, here's the 100 companies, and here's 2 to 3 contacts that each reach out, or have to actually pick those 100 companies and and you figure out the right people.
Yeah, so they have with that specific targeting, yeah, I have to, look at these companies and then find the leads that I want to go after. Of course, we have like Zoom info and DiscoverWorks that gives us like contact info, and then we upload that to Salesforce. But we also have like certain accounts that are already in the system,
Okay.
and
Got it.
like those accounts have contacts on there that you can also make a list for that. So yeah, it's like it's definitely a lot.
Yeah.
But just I'm focusing on like just trying to get as organized as possible. Trying to have a nice to-do list and get that marked off every day.
Got it. Okay. And then you prospect in the morning. Are you mainly calling? Like if you had to get, well, let's just say in a day, like how many calls are you making versus emails versus LinkedIn if you're doing any of that?
Yeah, so yeah, we do all of that. Here though, we're definitely focused on calls. So
Okay.
with this power dialer, you can make like 4 dials at
At
once.
once, yeah.
Yeah, so we our expectation is to make 500 dials a day.
Okay. And so you're making 500. I mean, how many are you actually maybe talking to? Or like I know you're calling 500 people, but obviously, like you said, it's really only four. So what? Yeah, I guess you could say roughly it's like technically like maybe over a little over 100 like calls if you're relating it to that. Would you say?
Mm, so like I can make 500 dials. That usually takes around like 3 to 4 hours to make 500 dials. In those 3 to 4 hours, I'll probably get like 10 pickups, 10, 15 pickups. Sometimes more, sometimes less, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I spend most of my day just like on that dialer. Like I usually always make like almost 800 to 1,000 dials a day because I'm just
Okay.
like literally on the phone, like on the dialer from like 9 to 4
Okay. And
every
can
day.
you explain, like, for people that don't know about, like, because they're like 800 to 1,000 calls, like, how is that possible? But obviously, if it's calling four at once, like, can you explain how that works in terms of, like, you call four people at once? If, how does that work if one picks up, obviously it goes to you. The three other, like, are you leaving voicemails? You know, just people that don't know how like a power dialer works, like how does that work? And what if the four people who call, three of them pick up? How does that work? Because people are probably gonna want to know what does that look like?
Yeah, so the specific there's like two different types of power dialers. There's one that uses like only AI, which is, this AI is calling these numbers, and then when you get a pickup, they hang up the other lines pretty much, and then you're talking to that person and it won't dial until you hang
Yep.
up. And then there's the other version, which is what we use, and what it is they actually have people calling the numbers on your list, right? Like they
Hmm.
outsource these people, they have them calling, and then as soon as someone connects, you get transferred over, and then you talk to them.
Got it. Okay. And that's what you guys are doing?
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. So we use Connect Leader, and
Okay.
and yeah, it's like, honestly, it's amazing. Instead of just like being in Salesforce and hitting the number every time and listening to it ring. Like, I don't listen to rings. I
So
don't.
do you have to leave any voicemails or no?
No, they don't like leaving voicemails.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're making, your company wants you to do about 500. You're, going way above and beyond, obviously. Are you doing any emails in between? Are you doing 3 to 4 hours worth of calls, and then, let's say you take a lunch break, and then later on you're doing more calls and like emails? Like how are you breaking that down?
Yeah, so in the beginning of the day is where I do like my prospecting, like I said, and then kind of after lunch, I'll just focus on like calling and cleaning up everything. But towards the end of the day is when I get my emails together. Like, we have, out of like my top 20, top 50 accounts, I'll pick like three or four people a day to try to get a personalized email sent over.
Okay.
But and then same thing with LinkedIn. We have Conversify. I don't know if
Okay.
you've heard of it,
Yep,
but
I've heard of it.
it's pretty sweet. Like, you just literally make a list, and then they do the connections for you, send out messages once those connections are accepted. So it's pretty sweet.
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
So I'll usually do that towards the end of my day.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, so I switch it up sometimes. Like, I'll do it in reverse because I'm trying to figure out when is the best time to send emails and LinkedIn's and all that stuff. I've seen more success later on in the day, so that's why I do it that way. But I switch it up occasionally.
Okay. And then, so obviously you're not emailing as much personal. Do you guys have sequences where well, let me break this down. If you have an account, let's say, how many times, and they're cold. I mean, because this is all outbound, right? I mean, maybe there's some inbound, but you're handling, I'd imagine, mainly outbound.
Yeah, I mean, so we have a lot of we do a lot of marketing and stuff like that. So
Okay.
um yeah, I do get a lot of inbounds where
Okay.
um so we have like this scorecard, and
Yep.
people download their own scorecard, and then I get those messages. So then I put them into a sequence like, hey, so you downloaded
Okay.
the scorecard, you want to chat about it, yada yada.
Got it.
So
So
that
something like that, how many, like if they're enrolled in your sequence, you get that, hey, they download this. How many times are you calling and maybe personal versus automated emails versus, like, how many touch points you're doing until over, a week, a month, how
yeah so
long? And then how many touch points do you think until it's like, all right, this is a dead lead?
Yeah, so usually it's like a 2 week sequence. So we do like email first, call the second day, and then an email again, and then a call. Kind of just goes back and forth. I'd say about like 10 touch points with the inbound leads.
Okay. And then what about outbound?
So outbound, it really depends. Like I said, they're heavy on phone calls, and I haven't actually seen like too much success with the emails. Even even when they are personalized, and yeah, it's like people don't really.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's the emails are way harder for me, and it takes like a lot of my time too, like
Yeah.
it'll take me like 20 minutes to get a good personalized
Oh,
email
wow.
together.
Okay.
Just like a lot
Okay.
a lot of research and trying to figure out what
Hmm.
to say.
Got it.
So
Okay.
I usually like, I don't stay away from it. Like, they definitely want us to do that, but it's not heavy focus here.
Got it. And then what about, like, your manager, I mean, how are you having a daily stand up? Are you having one-on-one once a week? Like how much interaction and interaction and training and maybe a pipeline review is with management?
Yeah, so we do stand-ups every day with the whole BDR team and our BDR manager.
What is it for people not going to stand up? Like what is a stand up? Quick overview.
Yeah, so a stand-up, pretty much we just go over the meetings that we booked yesterday. Kind of just it's like really lax. It's not too crazy. We just kind of go over the meetings that we did yesterday, things that are on the agenda, maybe things that we could do better. But yeah, it's a daily thing, and yeah, it's pretty chill. It's like everyone gets to chat. So like there's 8 BDRs on our team. So
Okay.
we go over meetings we scheduled yesterday. Everyone gets to talk about them. Like, oh, how did you book this? What did you learn? Da da da. So it's nice. And then we have weekly one-on-ones with the BDR manager as well. So and in those conversations we'll go over like, hey, what do you want to do better? What do you need help with? What is working? What is not working? What are goals? And we do that once a week. And then every quarter we have like QBRs, where we kind of just go over everything that happened last quarter, what we're looking to do this quarter. And yeah.
Got it. Okay. And then a few more questions wrapping up. Like, are you doing, I know some companies and some SDRs do it and some don't. Like, how much like self-assessment are you doing? Like, do you need to like, is your manager really watching you? Or I mean, it's kind of on the higher end to manage for, I'd say, an SDR manager. They're pretty busy. So how like in the know are they, or do you more have to come to them and say, hey, here's what I need help with? And you might have to do some, or you have to listen to some calls and come with the help, or they have a pretty good eye on you.
I'd say it's like a good 50-50. I mean, I know that they listen to our calls often, and calls that like if we say hey, this meeting we booked, they definitely listen to those calls and give some shout outs or pointers or whatnot. But yeah, they're very they it's like it's up to you, like if you don't want to chat, if you don't actually have anything to say, then they're kind of just like, okay,
Yeah.
which like I see. I'm definitely like not that way, so I'm always like, you know me pretty well, like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
always
You have
like,
something
hey.
to talk about. There's something and it sounds like if you don't have anything to talk about, they might not bring it up because maybe they're super busy unless they've noticed a big problem and you're not hitting your numbers.
Right, yeah, like they kind of leave you to your own devices and see, and like they want to see what you make of it. So
Got it. Okay. And then kind of wrapping up, how does like what does your day end? What does the end of the day look like for you?
yeah, end of the day is just I usually save the end of the day for like putting in the meetings that I book. Like we have to create opportunities after we book a meeting, so I usually do that at the end of the day. And any like generic tasks that I have to do, like make those calls from the inbound, add the people who are inbound to specific sequences. So like say someone downloads some of our content on LinkedIn, there's a specific sequence for that we get. So yeah, usually the end of the day I save it for the lighter stuff. I'm not on the phones and just wrapping up